Warning, MF Uncensored contains adult language and discussion. Listener discretion is advised.
We're a couple of misfits. We're a couple of misfits. What's the matter with misfits? That's where we fit in. We're not Duffy and Dilly. Don't go around willy-nilly. Seems to us.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to MF Uncensored. Don't forget, if you guys are listening to us on the go, you can find us on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Samsung Podcasts, and basically anywhere you get your podcast. You can also find more of our content on our website, themisfitfaction.com. There you find links to not only this show, but our other shows like the Multiverse Fancast and Cinematic Adventures. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Paul. With me in the studio today is Ronnie. Ronnie, how are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. How about you?
You know, I was really good until you told me that you did not listen to our previous episode just because you weren't on it, you petty bitch.
Okay, I didn't say I didn't listen to it because I wasn't on it. I said I don't listen to the podcast at all because if I'm on it, I don't need to listen to what I said already.
Well, it's funny because you weren't on it and you didn't listen to it, petty bitch.
I downloaded it.
Okay, thank God. There we are. Well, actually, fun fact, it is statistically proven that people will download more but listen less during the holidays just because it is a wild time. I don't know. How are the holidays going for you so far?
They're going good.
They're going
good? Little hectic and everything, but just like everyone else. It's a hectic time for most people.
Yeah, before we started recording, we were talking about what we got our wives for Christmas. And I'm not going to say it because this is going to be the one time she listens to the episode.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, that's what he got me for Christmas? No. Nice try. Nice try. Haha, gotcha. If you're listening, producer Melanie, haha, gotcha.
Gotcha.
But anyway, so we are...
Nothing.
With inflation, probably. That is a solid bet.
Yeah, right?
I was watching... Do you watch Young Rock?
Yes.
They had the episode where I guess Dwayne Johnson every year makes a coconut with googly eyes for his mom for Christmas. I was like, I looked at my wife. I was like, would you like? She's like, no, I would not. Dang it.
Good luck finding a coconut.
I would have found a fake one. Amazon's awesome.
That's true.
Like literally anything at this point. So we are continuing our philosophical series, which has been quite a whirlwind. We've had a lot of ups and downs with this one. A lot of interesting questions. Huge download numbers for the start of the series. So thank you guys. If you're listening for the first time, welcome. And we hope you stick with it because every day really is a new adventure with our show.
Amen.
And we're working on some stuff for the new year. We're working on interviews again. We're working on topics. We're working on new content, old content, different content.
Content?
Not safe for work content?
I guess.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, this is our bad word podcast. This is one
right.
where we say bad words sometimes.
Very risque.
Very risque. Which I thought was just risky with a little
accent. Yeah.
But anyway, so we have another series of questions, probably about 20-ish questions again. We're going to go, until we get tired or until our brains start to hurt.
Yeah, right.
We want to thank Brendan for jumping in last week because that was a lot of fun to have Brendan on. Because Brendan's like one of the most morally good people you'll ever meet. Like, he does not curse.
Yeah.
It is wild. And it's funny when you hear some of his cursing substitutes because did he just say Fraggle Rock? No. But
I use that sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was from Fired Up. That's
Yeah.
one of our favorite bad movies of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Good bad movies.
Good bad movie.
All right. So this part of the series, we are tackling some topics involving morals and ethics. Now, again, full disclaimer, these are just our opinions. These are the way that we think. If you guys agree with it, awesome. Let us know. If you guys don't agree with it, that's cool too. We're always open to debate and discussion as long as it is kept civil and as long as nobody gets fired up and yells and, starts trying to prove everybody wrong or have a conversation. Conversations are fun.
Exactly.
And don't have any of these conversations while you're at dinner with your family, I guess.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
While drinking.
What are the three things that they say you should never talk about at dinner? It's politics, religion, and ex-girlfriends.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, my God. But anyway, so, Ronnie, are you ready for the first question?
Oh, you betcha.
Are you sure?
I sure hope so.
Sure hope so. Is morality relative or absolute? Ooh, yeah, you weren't ready.
I was not ready.
You were not ready.
Shit.
Yeah.
See, I don't...
I already know what you're going to answer. I already know how you're going to...
I don't think it's absolute.
Okay.
I think because everyone has different morals.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it can't be absolute if you have different morals in life. And, you have different types of morals too, like religious morals. It's different for all religions and everything. I think some of your basic morals obviously are like absolute, like being good and like doing good things. And
I mean,
things.
Santa's watching, so
Exactly.
That's how many years. Yeah.
I mean, he's coming in less than a week?
Oh, man.
Or a week? I don't even know what day or time it is.
I really hope Amazon Prime is on fire this week.
Don't worry, it is. All my stuff is coming around the 19th to the 20th. So.
Thank God. But anyway.
But yeah, I don't think morality is absolute. Yeah.
I'm going to say it's both.
Yeah.
I'm going to give the cop-out answer.
Yeah.
The reason I say it's both is there are some things that are absolutely morally correct, right?
Yeah.
You know, being good, you know, treating people with respect, all those things. There are some things, though, that your morality is you know, it's based on how you live and where you live and what you do. Like, you know, not to bring religion into it, but there are plenty of things in one religion that are morally okay, but then in others they're not. But like, how do I tell somebody that their religion is wrong?
Yeah.
So for me, I think that there is a balance between the two. There are some things that are absolutely morally like you shouldn't hurt people. Like you literally should not hurt people. Or like look both ways before you cross the street. Like things that you have to explain to children, like don't hit, don't hurt, like those sorts of things. Those are absolute forms of morality. But you know, otherwise, I think there's a lot of relative nature to it. Like, you know, the way that I was raised was different than the way you were raised. But like, there are some things that just everybody does. Like, you know, when somebody sneezes, we all say "bless you," even if you're not religious. What was it? Dane Cook did the joke about the atheist.
Yeah.
And goes into a whole tirade about it. But like, there are certain things like holding the door for people.
Yeah.
You know, some things are just so morally ingrained in our culture and our society. Especially, you know, for those of you guys who are listening around the world, we are in New York, so we're in America, and you know, sometimes our beliefs about morality are very different, just like how other countries see it very differently. But all right, so the next one: where do your morals come from? I think first and foremost, it's your upbringing.
Yeah.
But also, like, I've interacted with a lot of people and a lot of, especially kids, who come from terrible homes, like the worst homes you could possibly imagine. And they're the nicest kids.
Yeah.
Like, they'll always be polite and respectful and this and that. So it's weird. I do think that everybody has a moral compass, but there's a big factor in your upbringing and how you're raised and the environment you're raised in and the way that you're taught that I think is a very important part in where your morals actually start to come from and how they develop.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think you start learning about your morals, you know, through your family, obviously, because you're around them all the time. You know, they're the ones that instill in you the good morals and everything. And then I think as you grow up, it's the people that you surround yourself with. You know, you surround yourself with like-minded people, you're going to be like that, you know? So I think it's at first family, and then it moves into who you surround yourself with, you know? And then, I mean, a little bit comes from, you know, knowledge through, you know, media or through reading, different things like that. So and your morals change too, you know, because, you know, your family might have certain morals, but then as you get older, you realize, you know what, maybe I don't really believe in those morals. You know, maybe, you know, I more align myself with this, and, you know, this set of, you know, rules and morals better, you know, suits me. So, you know, I think it changes as you grow up.
Yeah, I mean, look at we're those millennial Gen X, like we're right in the cusp of both of them. We're like the late millennials. Like, we know how to use technology. We can also probably read a map if we're really pushed to it.
Yeah.
But for us, like, we look at our elders, where we came from, and things were very different. Like, and people learn and grow and change, but you know, you hear a lot of things from, especially like the older generation. You're like, oh, you can't say that anymore.
Yeah.
And not because of any sort of cancel culture, but also it's just a more understanding type of mentality.
Yeah.
I mean, even Ronnie, who is abrasive and rude most of the time, there are certain things that, you know, he's changed over the years too. Like his beliefs, my beliefs, we've all changed. So I do think morals, and that goes back to that first question, are they absolute? I do think that they some things are, but for the most part, they are constantly changing. The way you see the world is constantly changing.
Yeah, the common ones, you know, being nice to others, showing respect, you know, things like that are just human nature.
Cover your mouth when you cough.
Yeah.
It's flu season. Oh my God.
Right?
Swear to God, if I get sick, I'm going to throw hands. If somebody makes me sick, I'm going to punch them in the face. I don't care if it's a baby, all right?
Do it.
Do it. I will. Just like, what was that movie with The Campaign?
Yeah.
Is anybody worried about my hand when it hit that iron jaw baby? But anyway, this one's going off the rails quick.
Oh, yeah.
Is it possible to make moral judgments without religion? Now, let's throw the caveat out there first. Yeah. So, I was raised religious. I don't know, Ronnie, if you were.
No.
But now you have moved more towards that side.
Yeah.
And I have moved further away. Like I follow pagan pages on Facebook at this point because I'm trying to explore my Viking heritage. But I'll go first. I think moral judgments can definitely be made without. It's my own personal belief that religion was also created as a way to control people, to organize religion, not per se like actual religion. Because if you're a religious person and you have faith in something, awesome, do you? I appreciate it. It's just not for me, right? I don't like organized religion. It's not really my cup of tea. But I'll never disparage anyone who believes in a higher power or higher authority, because, in all honesty, who am I to say that something does or doesn't exist? I'm not a scientist. I'm not all-knowing. Ronnie says he's all-knowing, but
I am.
You are not.
Oh.
But anyway.
Shit.
I didn't know you were going to say that. Exactly. But for me, like, I never had religion as my reason for doing something moral or immoral. And I never had it as like I did this bad thing, now I have to go, I wasn't raised Catholic. I didn't do confession and stuff like that. So for me, I think moral judgments can definitely be made without religion. But if it helps and it helps you create a better moral identity, do you? I don't care. Like, have fun. Enjoy.
I agree with that too. I think maybe some of your morals can be kind of tied back to religion, but I don't think you're doing it because of your religion.
Right.
Now, obviously, different religions have different morals, so then those morals obviously have something to do with, being tied to religion and stuff like that. So, I mean, overall, though, I would say it has nothing to do with your religious belief or anything like that. You're just doing it because that's what you were told. I know growing up, like, the morals my father instilled in me that I still have, he didn't learn them from religion because he wasn't really religious growing up either. Neither were, my grandparents or his parents. So that has really nothing to do with religion. Maybe it was learned and passed down through generations because of religion. But at this point, I think most people's morals can get tied back to religion, but you're not basing it off of religion.
Right. I agree. Let's see. Is killing justified under certain conditions?
Yes.
That was really quick.
I don't care how quick it was. I think it is.
Why do you have a sword? But anyway, so obviously killing and not killing is one of the oldest human debates, all the way back in the Bible, Cain and Abel, throughout human history. I think that there are times where, yes, it is completely justified. If somebody is going to hurt somebody, especially somebody that I care about, somebody that I love, like going to hurt, harm, anything along those lines, I have no problem having to take whatever means I can.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a masculine toxic thing, but I think that masculinity is something that the world still needs.
Yes.
We were watching that show White Lotus last night. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't, no.
Two of the characters like kind of have a discussion. It's like an old school Italian family, but like the son's like new school, like he went to Stanford and all that stuff. So he has a different worldview than them. Yeah. And like they're trying to say like the world still needs some of that masculinity, and it's like so downplayed now. Yeah. I think to a point, there's a balance. I don't need to be, like the frat boy bro, like, disparaging people and
super macho,
disrespecting people and stuff like that. But I think there's something to be said about an assertive, aggressive, but respectful male. Mm-hmm. And I think that killing and using violence when necessary is a part of that. And I think that it's something that we're missing in our world nowadays. Yeah. So for me, I think it can be justified under certain conditions. Yes.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think certain people don't deserve to live. You have like a mass murderer or a serial killer. Those people don't deserve to live. Mm-hmm. Obviously I'm not just talking about I'm going to go around and just kill whoever I want. That, no. No. But, if you've done something heinous, you deserve, I think you deserve to die. And, so I think, under certain circumstances, killing needs to happen under certain circumstances. I mean, when you go to war, people are dying, as long as you're doing a war for a good reason, but so, yeah, I have no problem with people being killed under, certain circumstances.
All right. What makes something immoral? That's a tough one. It's so hard to like quantify and put into words.
Yeah.
Because normally I just say I feel it in my jellies.
Yeah, right.
Like you just feel it. You feel that pit
Feel
in
it
your
in your bones.
Feel it, that pit in your stomach.
Yeah.
Like there are certain things that you can always say are immoral.
Yeah.
Like, you know, especially when it comes to common courtesy and respect and stuff like that, and, you know, human practice. But unfortunately, like as you get old, it's so much easier when you're little. Like
Yeah.
this is good, this is bad, that's it.
Yeah.
Now, as you get older, you realize that there are so many.
The gray areas.
Oh my God, so many different shades, and it's hard sometimes. Like sometimes you have to do something that isn't moral, and you have to do it for, you know, you got to get your hands a little dirty.
Yep.
And sometimes it's for the betterment of everyone. Sometimes it's for the benefit of you, and you know, you have to be able. For me, it's what can I do that I still fall asleep at night?
Yeah.
That's how I define something as immoral. If I'm not sleeping, I did something wrong. Mm-hmm. And there are plenty of times that I've lost sleep. There are plenty of times where, you know, and sometimes you do something immoral and you don't even realize it at the time. You don't think about how it's going to affect other people, especially, you know, Ronnie and I are recently married, not to each other because I keep saying that.
Yeah.
But which is fine because we don't care about that sort of thing.
No.
But, you know, you find out as you get married, especially when or even just in a regular long-term relationship, how the things that you did maybe don't affect your partner in the same way they affect you.
Yeah.
And it makes you think. Like, there are plenty of things that I probably did and still probably do that my wife, that my wife, you know, that she doesn't like, that she, you know, she's the first one to call me out in a good way. Like, you know, you don't think about thinking about how other people react to the things that I do, say, or how I say them, especially when it comes to doing all this podcast stuff, like how I talk to people, how I interact on social media with people. She's the first one to be like, hey, I don't want people to misinterpret this, or I don't want, like, you should probably try this. So you learn as you grow, and unfortunately, like, it's so hard to put into words what is good and, you know, what is moral and immoral, because the next question is going to be even worse. So I'll let you go.
So I think, again, you know, let's tie it back to religion, right? So you got polygamy, which some religions, that's immoral to have more than one spouse, you know, but in some religions, that's okay. You know, so like there's certain things that just based off of your belief system are immoral too that other people may do. Now, as far as you doing immoral things, I think, you know, basically it's doing something immoral is something that only benefits you and it hurts other people.
Right.
You know, I think you should be doing things that obviously benefit yourself, but at the same time, it doesn't hurt other people, you know, especially the ones you care about, the people that you love. You should be doing stuff that, you know, will help them or just won't bother them or anything. So I think, like you said, things that make you kind of not sleep at night, maybe you shouldn't be doing, you know, so...
So then the next question, how do you define good and I'll go. So I always say that good is how you feel, evil is how you act.
Yeah.
Like evil is always an act. There's nothing wrong with having bad thoughts. Everybody has it. There's a phrase, it's called looking into the abyss. Mm-hmm. It's like, you know, when you're driving and you go over a bridge and you look over and you're like, man, imagine if I just drove over this bridge. Like, it's that thought that everybody has.
Did a hard right now.
And it's that fleeting thought that you're like, but I'm not going to do that. That's silly. But it just gets into your head. I always say that evil exists everywhere, and it, you know, depending on your religion, it's more about temptation and how you. And I always say that good is how you feel, though, most of the time, and then good, you can act good, and you can be good, and you can do good things. For me, evil is that voice telling you to do the thing that your morals tell you not to do.
Yeah.
But true evil is acting on it. True evil is, you know, there's nothing wrong with having bad thoughts. And if you're having bad thoughts, talk to someone. Like, I have no problem. I love therapy. I think therapy is one of the most important things, and I highly recommend it. And I think anybody who's dealing with certain things should talk to someone. Yeah. You know, for me, like, it's hard to define, though, what is... Like, I think I do good. I think I'm a good person. I like to wake up in the morning and be like, I'm going to do good things. But there are plenty of times where I'm like, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to help people. I don't want to interact with people. I don't want to do anything. Yeah. But I like to say at the end of the day, I do at least a little good somewhere.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think evil can only be done, right? Because, again, you can have bad thoughts or evil thoughts, right? Like, I'm sure everyone at one point was like, I want to kill that person.
Oh yeah,
but you didn't. Or as far as I know, you know, you didn't do it. You know what I mean? Like so it's okay to think those thoughts, evil thoughts. It's just when you act on them is where evil comes in. You know, I think when you think those thoughts and you don't do them, that's obviously showing goodness in your heart. You know, so like you said, good can be thought and done. Evil is more of the action of, you know, doing something bad. But to define good and evil, that's tough, because in your head you're thinking, all right, it's evil to kill someone. But then at the same time, if you go back to is killing necessary, sometimes it is. So, you know, it's still an evil act, but you're doing it for good. You're doing it for the betterment of people.
But what do they say? The road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah.
It's tough. Like, no matter what, not everybody's going to agree on it.
No.
And that's fine. Like I said, if you guys are listening and anything we say you don't agree with, send us a message. Like, seriously, send us a message.
Yeah.
Send us an email, misfitfaction@gmail.com, and let us know your thoughts. Like, and we'll read them next week. If anybody sends us thoughts, we'll read them in the next episode. Because in all honesty, we want to have discussions, and the whole point of this show is to create topics and to create that conversation.
Yeah.
And as long as we're all respectful about it, and like literally we'll read it and we'll say our thoughts, and they will be nothing but respectful to it, even if they don't agree with us. Like, if you email us or message us and say you're wrong, tell us why at least.
Yeah.
Like, give us, because I love thinking. I love seeing things.
Give me some information. Give me some data.
Give me some stuff. Give me a little something. A little something.
If you can't back it up, then don't say it.
Yeah. You know, so I joined like a Viking tattoo group on Facebook because I want to get new tattoos. And I was like, you know what? Let's get something that for my heritage. And all people do, like, people will post a picture of like their quote unquote Viking tattoo, and people just rip them apart.
Yeah.
Like, well, actually, according to this, but like, bro, like, why is everybody so confrontational?
Yeah.
Especially on social media and all that stuff.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
remember when it was just pictures of cats?
Yeah, right.
Just pictures of cats. I didn't even like cats at the time, and I was like, oh, look at that cat.
Remember the days when all you had to do was go on someone's profile and you jammed out for about 30 minutes listening to their music on their MySpace
We
account?
were just talking about this. It was
Really?
There was nothing better than turning on MySpace and like Faint by Linkin Park and like the most grainy quality would just play, like stuff like that. Those were simpler times. But even MySpace had that the top 8 drama. Who's on your top 8?
Yep.
Then they changed it so you could do like top 4, top 16, whatever it
Yeah.
was. Well, remember when Facebook tried to add the dislike option for statuses?
Yeah.
Where you could say dislike, and that went away quick.
It went away quick, but now they came back where you can send an angry face.
Yeah.
So it came back.
I think I might just, for everything you post, just put an angry face and just let the world wonder why.
Why is he so mad?
Why is he so mad? All right, next question. Why do most people think that lying is bad? So I think one of the questions we had was about lying and about the necessity of it. And I still say that lying, as long as it's not hurting that other person,
Yeah.
it's not always a bad thing. And I do understand that people, as kids, were taught, don't lie.
Yeah.
As adults, though, we learn about white lies, and we learn about, the lies of...
Especially if you're a husband and your wife asks you, do I look fat? in
Oh,
this?"
my God, no. Oh, so scary. You watch The Holderness Family?
No.
They're really funny, but he does like song parodies, and one of them, his wife asks him if her butt looks big, and he's like, I don't, I gotta go.
Yes, in a good way.
Yeah, there's no right way to answer some of these, or it's like even like getting gifts and stuff like that. Like, what did you get me for Christmas? Nothing. I love that game. That's my favorite game. Or, I got you something small, but don't worry about it. I spent like $300.
Yeah, right.
But
something.
I just got you a little something. Surprises are always fun, and surprising involves a certain amount of lying and deception.
Yeah.
Like surprise parties. The whole point of a surprise party is you have to lie to that person. Yeah. So I understand, like, lying is...
White lies.
Lying every day to everybody is a bad thing. You shouldn't be doing that. Like, if that's... I have a kid that I interacted with, and he was a pathological liar. Mm-hmm. Like, it was wild. The things that he lied about all the time. Even when you caught him red-handed, he would rescind that part of the lie and then start a new web. Like, I don't know how people can keep track of it, but that's just how his brain worked.
Yep.
It was a pure defensive psychological thing where he could not stop himself.
Yeah.
And he just kept going and going and going and going. No matter how deep he was digging himself, he's suddenly down at the bottom. So I think for lying, there is a certain point where you shouldn't be lying. Mm-hmm. But as long as it's not hurting anyone, and as long as it's, especially for the right reasons, like fun reasons especially.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have kids yet. Ronnie, has a stepdaughter and now on the way. Lucky
Yeah.
him. But Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Parents lie to their kids about Santa Claus. But there's something so magical about it, and something so magical about being a kid, and also especially for kids, you lie to protect them.
Yeah, I think when it comes to lying, when you're lying to be deceitful, that's not a good lie. And I'm not. I know we talked about being like a surprise party or whatever. You're being deceitful when you're lying about that, but still, like I'm sure most people know what I mean by being deceitful. Like when you're trying to like hide something negative that you've done or you want to do. That obviously isn't a good lie to be telling, but those little white lies about, oh yeah, there is a Santa Claus and Easter Bunny, all those things that you tell your kids.
I hope no 7-year-olds are listening to our podcast.
They better not be.
How old were you when you found out the truth about old Saint Nick?
That's a great question. I honestly don't remember.
7. I remember.
I was going to say, I think I was no older than probably 10.
Yeah,
I would say.
Like
I feel like around that, like 7 to 10, maybe 11 is where you kind of figure out that he's not real.
It's so sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's something so magical. Like, it's funny because we're talking about, it's the holiday season this time of the year.
Yeah.
And it's funny, as you get older, like, that magic starts to slowly disappear. And you wonder, like, was it ever real? I think that magic's totally real. And I think there's something just so powerful.
Yeah.
Like, and again, I'm not a religious person. I don't celebrate Christmas because, it's the celebration of Jesus and all that stuff. It's really all pagan traditions that were co-opted.
Yep, the tree.
Yeah.
The
tree.
For,
even
the
the look
wood,
at
like the wood nymphs.
the wood nymphs, the Yule log.
Yeah.
Like, all that stuff. And I just enjoy the feeling that you have. And I still think it's real.
I agree. For me too, because I'm not a big Christmas person, but the reason why I like Christmas is just to be around family and friends. And then obviously having a stepdaughter, and by next Christmas I'll have another daughter. So I think it's just that magic kind of comes alive. Like you said, like the magic kind of goes away. I think it goes away as you get older, and then once you have kids, it kind of comes back because now you're doing those traditions that you did when you were a kid, you're now doing with your kids and everything like that. So, I think the magic comes back to you
Just differently.
with that stuff.
Yeah. All right. Next one. Should all actions have equal consequences? No. I'm not going to treat this like, if somebody steals a piece of gum from me, I'm not going to treat them the same way as if they like cut off my hands.
Yeah.
Like that's a very old school, like the Hammurabi, like eye for an eye type mentality.
Yeah.
For me, I think being fair is always more important than punishment. It's like when you discipline your kids, they do something wrong that's like something silly. Like, oh, I took an extra cookie. Well, you're in timeout for the next 6 hours. What?
Yeah, right?
Like, excessive.
Yeah, no. Things need to have an equal, like an equal result or action done to it. Like you said, you steal a piece of gum, I'm not going to cut your finger off or cut your tongue out. I'm going to steal a piece of gum back.
I'm just gonna make you give me the gum.
Yeah,
just give me a piece of gum.
You know
back.
what I mean? Like something like that. Like it needs to be equal in a way. So and it could even go with further things. I know eye for an eye makes the whole world go blind, but at the same time, you kill someone, you should die too. So in a way, I kind of agree with the whole eye for an eye statement. But again, it's an eye for an eye. It's not like, oh, you beat me up, so now you die. It's got to be, you beat me up. All right, now let me kick the shit out of you, or I'm going to get someone to kick the shit out of you, or, you know what I mean? Like,
I'm going to hire this guy to beat you up.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, it's again, I think it should always be weighed and should always be something just, all right? Does every human life count equally? Oh, this is a tough one. We're going to be very careful with this one, though, because...
So,
yeah.
I'll start this.
Oh, boy.
Yes and no. I think until you do something evil, then I think things do change. You shouldn't be as equal. You shouldn't have the same rights and freedoms that I do. But I think if you're just an average Joe or whatever, an average person, yeah, you are equal to me, to you, to the listeners that are, whoever, we are all equal. But when we start doing bad things, we become, less equal, I think. It doesn't matter who you are. You do something bad. If I had to put you on a scale, you drop down a little bit, So I think we all start off equal, but it's just a matter of what we do that makes us less equal than others. I don't think there's people that, are greater than, other than, obviously when people go down a level, then obviously you have people that are greater than. But if we all just lived our lives and did good the whole time, everyone would be equal. The only people that wouldn't would be the people that do bad things, and they're not as equal.
So this is tough for me because I'm going to differ in opinion from you, so shut up. No, that's totally fine because a lot of these questions we have similar mindsets, but like for me, I always I find a lot of value in human life. I always, especially like you look at things like you have kids that do horrific things, but then they change because they get older. Like things happen. Like it's hard because it's not like there's a point counter. Like for every evil thing, it's like 5 points off. Like so you don't know how evil somebody is. You don't know how bad somebody is. And again, it's not my place to judge. It's not my place to be like, you're the bad person. Like it's so hard because I value human life. I'll always do whatever I can to preserve human life. It's tough, It's like the Batman question. Batman, quote unquote, doesn't kill, but like the Joker's killed millions of people. Why doesn't he just kill the Joker? Yeah. And, that's your morals. That's your ethics. So for me, I believe that every human life is important. I'm not going to get into the debate of when human life starts because then we'll have some issues. But for me, I think if you're a living, breathing person, you have a value and you have something, and obviously if I know you and I'm friends with you or, whatever, like you're going to have more value to me personally. Yeah. Not to the universe. Just because you're my friend doesn't mean you're more valuable to anybody else.
Oh, really?
Yeah, sorry, buddy.
Oh, man.
Dang it. That's how you met Sean, though. Yeah. So, you're welcome. But, I don't know, it's like, there's like the universe's scorecard and then there's mine. And who am I, this small little man in this world of billions of people and potentially trillions of other life forms? Who knows? Because I love that. It's funny. My stepdad, he's very he loves like the religious stuff. Yeah. But he also loves like that ancient aliens crap. And I'm like, you can't have it both ways. It's either you believe in this. And again, that was like my oldest debate with him. Yeah. Was you can't believe in aliens and angels. Come on. No. And now now I love that stuff too. I can't. There's nothing funnier than watching the History Channel all day, and it's like World War II, all the facts, these things. Then like 11:58 rolls around, and suddenly it's like aliens built everything. Yeah, right. And it goes 0 to 100 the opposite
aliens
way.
Aliens built the pyramids.
The aliens actually fought in World War II. No, the documentary 40 minutes ago said they didn't.
Yeah, right. They said it was robots.
Oh, why would you even do that? We're going to have a whole episode on why I hate robots. That'll be a fun one. All right, where are we? All right, so we kind of already answered the next two questions, so they're just worded differently, so I'm going to skip them. All right.
I'll allow it.
Does morality come from within or outside ourselves? I think we already
I think we kind of established this with I think it was like the first or second question. I think it comes from the outside, because it's not like you're born. I don't think you're necessarily born with morals because you can't really think for yourself and do things. So obviously I think it comes from the outside. It's just things you learn. And then obviously as time goes on, you're not looking to other people for your morals. You know what your morals are, and it comes internally.
See, I'll mildly disagree with you. I think everybody starts with that moral compass. Everybody is born with a sense of right and wrong. They may not understand it. They may not be able to articulate it. And I think it's just refined by those outside sources. Obviously when you're a baby and, even parenting styles, like every parent parents differently. Yeah. Well, there's some show on ABC that's actually called like Parenting or something like that, where it's like 12 parents or 12 families that all parent differently. And what's right, what's wrong, what works, what doesn't. Like nobody's ever going to be able to 100% say that. But I always think like you have your moral compass and it's like when you're born, it's there. It's just not spinning yet. Yeah. So as you grow and as people like build towards you, that compass changes and it gets bigger and it gets nicer and it like changes and sense, the course that you are going to go on. Yeah. So for me, it's a little bit more on the inside and then filtered by the outside. Is stealing ever permissible? Ronnie's like, what?
I think so.
You think so?
I think so.
Ronnie's about to admit to a crime.
No.
You heard it here first. MF
Yeah, right?
Uncensored.
Just don't get me arrested.
No.
I think so. So, like, for instance, right now with what's going on with, like, crazy inflation and all this stuff and people losing jobs and whatever, I think you got to do what you got to do to survive, you know, yourself and especially those that have a family. You got to provide for your family. So I think stealing things in a situation like that, yeah. You know, like, I don't think you should be punished severely as if you're just doing it just to do it. Now, if you do it and you harm someone, obviously then no, because then we're talking about something else now too. But I think if you're not going crazy and just stealing like drugs or something like that, but if it's like, listen, I'm trying to feed my family of 4 and I lost my job, bread costs $12 now or whatever, and I steal it, okay.
Whoops.
You know, whoops, yeah, all right, I didn't see you steal that. You know what I mean? Like, in those situations, whatever.
So blasé.
Yeah.
For me, I'm more of like the Robin Hood style of stealing. Like,
Yeah.
that's totally okay. So for me, one of the biggest problems in America is there are some people with too much.
Yeah.
Like, just excess. Like, it is, I have no problem with ambition, right? I have no problem. If you want to make something of yourself and you want to do something successful and you get that success, cool. I think you have a moral obligation to give back. There are corporations and there are people that made so much money during COVID. And then there are people that are still suffering.
Yep.
And you look at some of these people like, I made $10 billion this year. You could do so much more.
Yeah.
And not to say like, if, you know, obviously the New York, the lottery a few weeks ago was up to $1 billion, like, takeaway. Like, you would walk away with $1 billion. Mel and I both, one of the first things we said was we would give to charity. We would give back. Like, we would obviously create our own world, but we also like to think we do really good things with it. But money changes people. Money, unfortunately, it create, like, there's so many people that are like, I'm going to do this, and then they get the money, and it's like,
well, maybe.
But, like, I'm not saying that if I won that $1 billion, I was going to be like, I'm going to give half of it away. That's not realistic.
No.
Right? I would create a lifestyle for myself, my wife, my family, my friends. Not you, Ronnie, but...
That's all right. I don't need it.
Just kidding. But, and then create some sort of... Like, I wanted to give money to our local police department. I wanted to give money to local charities, you know, bigger charities, like, all these things. Like, my wife and I talked about that, and we were both on the same page, which is nice. But for me, I think there is a point where people have too much, and they should have an obligation to give back. And they should have... It's like the more money you have, the less morals you need to have.
Yeah.
And, you know, on a conversation about morals and ethics, if you're making $10 billion a year, there's nothing... You can give people $1 million over, like, 1,000 times?
Yeah.
If my math is correct? Like, that's wild. That's silly. That's stupid money. And it boggles my mind. But again, that's how the rich stay rich.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, maybe if I was super rich, I'd feel differently, but I'm not, and it's not looking like it's going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah,
so
right.
I'm going to stick with my morals and ethics while I'm, you know, sitting in my tax bracket.
Yeah, right?
All right. Let's see. Is it ever permissible to deceive others? Reasonable deception, I believe.
A reasonable deception, you know, like we talked about before with, like, a surprise or, you know, like, you're deceiving... If what you're doing
has no malice,
is for the good, for the betterment, yes. You know, if you're doing it just to make yourself better or only to help yourself, then I don't think so.
So, like, here's a good example, at least for me. My wife and I are going to have different parenting styles when we have kids. It's inevitable. It happens, right? And her and I already made a vow to each other that if one of us parents in a way that the other doesn't like, it is not to be discussed in front of the child. It is to be discussed outside, and that is a level of deceit, right?
Yeah.
Like, if, oh, well, mom told you this, so you have to do this, but I don't believe in it, I'm still being deceitful.
Yeah.
But as long as I have that caveat where my wife and I are going to talk about it afterwards, I think that's a level of deception that's totally okay.
Yeah.
And, you know, obviously the Santa Claus debate, whether or not it's the right thing to do, or I'm sure there are families, like, who tell their kids Santa's not real. Like,
Yeah.
that's not a real thing.
I bought you all those.
Oh, my God. That would be rough. Oh,
Yeah.
I would be very upset.
Yeah. I'll tell you right now. My little girl, she's going to believe in Santa. Mm-hmm. I think there's just something magical about it. And then also, you don't want your kid to be the one telling all the other kids.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's how it... I got told on the bus when I was
Yeah.
7 years old. The kid on the bus was like, you know he's not real. I was like, la, 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 la.
You know, like you don't want to have your kid be that kid that, like, at 4 is going around, Santa's not real. Mm-hmm. Your mommy and daddy buy you presents, because that's what my mommy and daddy do.
I saw mommy kissing Santa Claus.
Yeah, right?
And then my dad came in the room. It was really weird. So straight.
What?
Wait, what? Hold on. All right, going to the next one. Let's see. Should we judge acts based on their outcomes alone? You know, so obviously the ends justify the means type thing.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
I would say yes. You know, because... Oh, damn.
Uh-huh.
Do I, though?
Uh-huh.
Shit.
Yeah, you got to think about this one. This is going to be the last question, too, I think. So you better put some thought into it.
I'm gonna say yes.
Wow.
You know, because you got to see the total outcome before you can judge it, right? Just like if you're reading a book, you're not gonna read the book halfway and be like, "Wow, this book's shitty," you know. Like, I mean, you're gonna think that, but you're gonna want to finish it because who knows? It could turn out to be an amazing book, right? So I think you got to see what the end result is before you have your final decision on that act. Now, you can disagree with it at first, disagree with it during, but then if the result is a good thing, then you can only be positive towards it, you know? So I think you got to kind of wait to see the result of the action before you kind of make your concrete judgment on it.
So I think it's tough. I think as a kid, you are very much against the whole ends justify the means. So like as you're younger, you're just like, no, you have to do the right thing. Most kids. I mean, who knows? I'm sure Ronnie was an asshole when he was a kid too.
I always was and always will be.
But like, it's like if I compete in a sport, like let's say I want to do professional bodybuilding, which, you know, is not unrealistic. You know, I work out, I train, I try and eat right. And obviously we have a lot of friends. If anybody remembers, we did our interview with Kristen Sappho earlier this year, and she professionally bodybuilds. But if I wanted to do it and I decided to use products like steroids or anything like that, and I win.
Yeah.
I didn't do it the right way. That's not the right way to do it. So for me, yes, I won the competition and I probably look great, but my, you know, with the exception of my groinal area probably, because we all know what steroids do to the male anatomy.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, did I do it the right way? No. But did I have a positive outcome? Probably.
Yeah.
Like I won. So for me, I think that the ends sometimes can justify the means. Like if I have to go, you remember Christmas shopping younger, before Amazon Prime, like the amount of damage you did. Like you hear horror stories about like Black Friday, like you can watch videos of people getting trampled and all these things. But for me, like if I went Christmas shopping, and Christmas shopping sucks. It is the worst. I will avoid it. I will Amazon Prime everything. I'll give people the printout of their Amazon Prime delivery. Just be like, it's on its way.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care.
Got you $1.
Got you $1. But like I remember times though when I went out Christmas shopping and like, you know, you fight off the old lady who's trying to grab the perfume that you were trying to buy your mom and stuff like that.
I'd punch her right in the face.
Right in the face. Not really.
Yeah, guys, it was a joke.
It was a joke.
Relax.
They punch old ladies. But, you know, like to have your parent or your family member like get excited though at the gift, like, yeah, it sucks getting it.
Yeah.
But like that end positive result, that's all worth it.
Yeah.
I think when people think the ends justify the means, they always think of like the worst possible situation. Yeah. Like they think about like killing people or robbing people to get to some final destination, but like it can be something so small.
Yeah. Again, I like I said, I think you got to wait to see the results before you make your judgment because, you know, to your example, if you did steroids for your bodybuilding and you lost, haha,
not worth it.
You suck.
Yeah. That's what you get.
You know what I mean? That's what you get. You know, but if you did those, if I knew you did steroids and you won, then I'd be like, yeah, but you cheated. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm thinking like you gotta wait until you see the results to make your judgment on that act.
Okay. All right. I think that's a good place to wrap it up, if that's all right with you, Ronnie.
You betcha.
Well, heck yeah, then. So we want to thank you guys for listening. If you guys want more of our content, you can go to our website, themisfitfaction.com. You'll find links to all of our other shows, news, reviews, articles, and our store, which is definitely going to be updated any day now. Anywho, Ronnie. You can also find us on all social media platforms. We are on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. If you guys just click the Misfit Faction, odds are you'll find something of our product anywhere on those things, because we have some people that actually just listen to the podcast on YouTube.
Yeah.
Our friend Brendan, he actually just listens on YouTube. He doesn't download the show.
Just so you guys know, there's no like video. It's literally just like a screen.
Yeah, it's a still shot.
Yeah.
But it's still the episode. And if you guys do any of those things, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, follow, whatever it is, whatever platform you're doing. And yeah, again, if you have any thoughts on any of the things that we've talked about thus far, please send us a message, send us an email, whatever it is. We'd love to hear your thoughts, and we'd love to read a couple of them next week.
Yes.
But yeah, I think that's going to wrap us up. And if you guys are listening to this around the holidays, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, all those things. Please enjoy your time with yourself, your family, your friends, all that. I said yourself, I know.
Yeah.
Enjoy yourself. You deserve it.
You did good.
It's a healthy thing. Come on. You should always enjoy yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, on that fun note, I'm Paul.
I'm Ronnie.
And we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.